Welcome to Subramani. Uh, how do the Gen X and how do millennials look at the value of the advisor or whom they would consider an advisor? I see a lot of youngsters who look at a bank manager or relationship manager as their primary advisor, whereas their parents may have chosen to have an independent financial advisor, an IFA or an MFD or an RIA, as they are called differently. The younger people prefer that actually the RM is almost thrust upon them, because they go and open their salary in a private account in a private bank, and that banker comes and speaks very logically, talks to them very correctly. He's more or less same age, he's wearing the same kind of brands, he's wearing the same kind of perfume, so whether it's a he or a she, it's very easy for them to cut across. Even though their parents may have different advisors, these people may or may not go to that advisor, because they may have even been hurt by one such advisor who sold them some LIC policy or stuff like that. So largely they may or may not seek an advisor, and they can be very contradictory when they talk. They would talk about the environment, and they would say, oh, there is global warming and all that, we should do this, we should do that. But they're the same guys who will go and buy a SUV with their own money, with the banker's money, whatever. So I've seen them go and buy an SUV with borrowed money, while their own money is sleeping in their savings bank account, because the banker has been able to tell them, what if there's an emergency, you should keep some money. So 20 lakhs lying in the bank, and there's a 15 lakh or an 18 lakh SUV completely funded by the bank, or 80% funded by the bank, or 75% funded by the bank. The bank is absolutely fine. The bank is making a lot of money because there's money lying in the savings account. It's too clumsy to put it in the FD, etc. So the money is lying here. So there is a lot of inefficiency. There is definitely tremendous amount of overbuying of insurance, especially medical insurance and term insurance. The younger millennials, the older millennial is now 40 years of age, right? So I'm talking of those people born sometimes in the 80s, 90s, who are now investing. People born post 2000 or even post 1995 are now not investing. Sorry, they are busy spending, right? So they are not really investing. So that apart. So what do these people do? What are the mistakes that I see them make? I don't see them really worry too much about why the banker is asking them to buy a product. So here is a lady who is earning well and who has no investments in any mutual funds. She got a KYC done, and she has invested in a NFO, and it's not a small amount. She has put 5 lakhs. Is it a very big amount? The answer is no, but she had about 15 lakhs lying in her savings bank account. The RM saw that, and he pitched a 5 lakh rupees, saying, oh, it will give you about 2-3% per month kind of thing. 3 saal mein double ho jayega kind of stuff. And lo behold, she signs up, she puts in the money, and after 3-4 months she meets me, and she tells me, I've invested in this fund, is it a good fund? Now this is a very funny question to answer. Of course it's a good fund. Is it suitable for you? I don't know. Is the fund manager good? I don't know. Is it a fund house with whom I have done any relationship, I have invested money with them? The answer is no. So what do I say? Is it a good fund or a bad fund? Because I don't even understand the question. What are you asking me? Is it a good fund for the next 2 months? Answer is definitely no. Is it good for the next 20 years? I will have to reserve my comments. I have to see the performance. I have to see the portfolio. While you're walking on the road somewhere and you meet and you say, oh, I've invested 5 lakhs in this fund or 10 lakhs in this fund. Where is all your other money? Well, some of it is in the bank, some of it goes towards my EMI payment. So there is a home loan also, and there is 20 lakhs lying in your savings bank account, or 15 lakhs lying in your savings bank account, and you have a 40 lakh home loan. Could you have repaid faster? Could you have repaid with a higher EMI? Could you have gone and just repaid a lump sum? Maybe yes, because she tells me that this money was lying there for the last 3-4 years, and her home loan is about 10-12 years. So could this money have gone to reduce? Yes. The problem is, will a bank RM ever tell you that? The answer is no. Will a bank RM sell you the most appropriate insurance? No. So she has got some ULIPs. She's got ULIP insurance, she's got ULIP pension plan. Why did you buy a pension plan? Array, one day I'll retire, no, so I will need money. How much money is she putting into it? May not even be 25,000 per annum. Does it really help? No. Why is it so? Why is the figure so low? Because it was taken long back, maybe 10 years ago, when her salary was not very high. So could she have enhanced it? Could she have bought some more things? Could she have done goal-based investing? Maybe yes, but then they look at financial advice very differently, because some of her colleagues are seeking help on how to reduce debt. And she's got a lot of money, and she's also married a guy who is a tech guy, and both of them don't really know much about money. Both of them have a home loan, both of them have credit cards. They run up big bills on the credit card and miss the due date for payment. An automated setup, automated way to make the payment is not set up. Utility bills are paid online every month. It's not set up to debit the credit card and earn points, or even if you don't earn points, have a nice credit card which gives you lounge access. So yes, they need a lot of investments, but they need a lot of investment guidance, and some of it they may or may not get from their bank RMs. So a lot of inappropriate products. Not that Gen X has done too well also. Gen X also realizes that sometimes they need advice. For example, a lot of money of a lot of people from the Gen X would go and be invested in bank deposits, and they would be paying tax. I met an 83-year-old. She does not have any need for any income. She is spending less than her pension. However, a lot of her money is kept in bank deposits where there is TDS, and she's paying tax because her pension alone is about 6 lakhs and her interest income is about 3 lakhs. Could she have put it in a mutual fund and earned better return? Maybe yes. Does a better return matter? No, but it would have meant lesser taxes. Does it mean that she should do it? I don't know, but the advice has to be measured from each angle, right? You have to see whether it is appropriate, whether she needs to take risk, whether she should take risk. And the complete package about taking risk, about ease of admin, filing of income tax returns, right? You look at all this as a combination, and that I can't see a bank RM wanting to even do the full helicopter view or a 360-degree holistic view. They don't, because they have targets and they achieve the targets. What do they sell? They sell NFOs. Are NFOs good for you? I don't know. For some people it may be good. What happens after that NFO is about 3 years old? 3 years I'm being very liberal. Even after one and a half years, if you put 5 lakhs and it is 4 lakh 92 or it is 5 lakh 1000, then they're saying, मैडम वो निकाल के आप ये फंड में डालो, नहीं चल रहा है. आई नो मैंने ही बोला, बट आप वो निकालो. वॉट इज हैपनिंग इज मनी इज गोइंग फ्रॉम वन NFO, staying there for maybe for a year and coming out at exactly the same price or thoda aage piche. Maybe 5 lakhs has become 5 lakh 5,000, 5 lakh 10,000. Coming out saying, oh, let us book some profits. No, this is not profit booking. 10,000 rupees is 2%. If you got 2% return in 1 year, you underperform the savings bank account. But then these people don't ask, they feel, correct, it is true, it is not doing very well, मेरा भाई का तो बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है, or something like that, and they will remove money from one NFO. So investments are moving from NFO to NFO, and the mutual fund industry is not helping, because there is one NFO opening and one NFO closing every day. I think we have at least 365 NFOs. It's like Hindi movies, and every NFO telling you that they are very different from the others. In this what would say circumstances or माहौल जिसे कहते हैं, will you need good advice? Maybe you will need good advice. Where should you seek good advice? It's up to you. If your parents have an advisor, maybe you seek that. Maybe you ask your parents, or if you will look for online help. But you need an independent financial advisor. I mean, somebody who is not tied to any bank or any mutual fund. You don't want a mutual fund employee. I know one CEO of a mutual fund who converted his friend's portfolio, which was diversified among 4 or 5 fund houses, to just his fund house. I think this is absolutely stupid, rotten advice. Yes, it came from a CEO, but the client, his friend has suffered. But that's fine if the friend doesn't know what he's doing. So seeking appropriate advice, whether you're Gen X or millennial, is up to you. Thank you.